Hey, I'm going to play a silly love song by Paul McCartney, straight from the charts of the Morristown Uke Jam. So take the link in the video description, download the free ukulele song sheet, grab your own ukulele, and you can play along with me. And if you'll be anywhere near Morristown, New Jersey, come out and play with us. After the song, I'll do a basic tutorial together with a slow motion close-up play along you might find helpful. Last things, if you like the video, please like the video with a thumbs up. You want lots more, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You want hundreds more free downloadable ukulele song sheets, check out our Dropbox. And then look at our meetup page and come play with us. 5, 6, 7, and... I think that people would have had enough of silly love songs. I look around me and I see it isn't so. Some people want to fill the world with silly love songs. And what's wrong with that? I'd like to know. 'Cause here I go. Love doesn't come in a minute. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. I only know that when I'm in it, it isn't silly. Love isn't silly. Love isn't silly at all. Tell you about there are basically 3 patterns in this song. One of them is just down strums. I don't think I have to teach you that one. The other one that is throughout the song, the quick pattern strum, I called it an abrupt strum because it has a little bit of dampening with my left hand, but the basic thing is just one pause. So you're down, up, pause, up, down, up, pause, 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 right? Down, up, pause, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, pause, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, pause, up, down, up. But in addition to that, there's an emphasis on the down, up, sorry, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So it's the first down and the second up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And part of the reason, or part of the way I do that is with is adding a little dampening with my left hand. By squeezing and then letting up with the left hand, you can add a little more abruptness than it would be. It would sound more fluid if you kept the same pressure. But you don't have to worry about that if you don't want to. You can just play. And then the third is actually the first. That is to say, the only exception to those two, simple down and that strum patterns, are the intro, which I think is kind of funky. The intro sounds like you're in a factory or something. I don't know what that came from, but it sounds cool. And it's the only part of the song that sounds remotely like it. And the way I tried to duplicate the odd, I don't know what kind of sounds they were. It sounded like a cowbell and a dragging of a chain or something like that. Anyway, the way I did it was I did a simple down strum, I think just with the fingernail, or with index finger, down, smack, and then Z. Z chord is what you call when you're covering the strings, so you can't hear it, but you hear a percussive sound, right? That's what the Z is. You can't hear the tone. You just hear the percussion. So that's all I did. One chord, smack. I let it ring out too. I did it up here. I started doing it down here, and I was blocking the chord, and I wanted it to ring out through the first smack, until I got to the Z. So I started smacking it up here. That way the chord rang out a little bit longer. So. That's it. And I suppose there is one more variation. That third line of the intro, you start with the intro, or the abrupt strum. And I screwed it up there. That's it. So I'm doing the abrupt strum, and then F, and then FF. That's what I wrote in as FF. All I meant was 2 more strokes and a sharp stop. And that's it. A G, and then you're into the song. And that's it. Now, chord transitions. So I don't really transition from one chord to the next at the start, right? With the intro, I'm putting my left hand on this, right? So I'm not really transitioning. I'm just dropping down the chords. But during the song, most of the time, what I did, I didn't always do it this way, but I found it easiest when I remembered to go from this C to slide your ring finger down 1 fret and then drop that as a G6. Now you could do this, but then you have to hop over to the F. If you do this and then here, it seems like it's closer. So, right, that's your basic thing. And then I'll show you how that also makes it easier in the bridge to do a G6 like this with your middle 2 fingers. It becomes easier in the bridge. But before we get to that, there's this run, this sort of chord run up at the end of each of the verses. So, what's wrong with that? I'd like to know. 'Cause here I go again. Now here's what I did. Here I go. By the way, if you're a beginner and you don't want to do this, you can just stay on the G. Again. You can just do that. That's why I made all the extra chords in bright red. You can ignore them if you want to. You can. But if you want to play them, they're not that hard. I do a down on the G, and then the rest are upstrokes. Again. So G5, all I'm doing is dropping a pinky. Then that third position C. The reason I call it a third position C, this would be a first position C. It's your open normal C, right? There's your second. That's your third. Those are all C's. It's all a C chord. But that's why that superscripted number, you can ignore that if you want, but if you want to play up the neck like that, then you have to play up the neck. So G and then G fifth, that C, and then the rest are easy because they're all the same shape. Right? So that's all those are. From F, we go from the C to F, and then F sharp and G. And that's it. So one more time. Here I go again. Couple Z's and you're back into the song. Okay, now the only other thing to talk about it, I think, is the bridge. Love doesn't come in a minute. Now notice, it's easiest for me if I do my middle fingers on there. Love doesn't come in a minute. I said A minor riff. The only riff is I got the A minor. All right, I just put my pinky on the A string, making it a C. That's it. But then at the end, so I'm doing these upstrokes, right? Love doesn't come in a minute. Now you notice I've got that it's actually a second position A minor. That I drop two more fingers and I have my D minor 7. It's right there. If I used this for the G6, then that for the A minor, right? That's not necessarily the finger I would, well, yeah, I guess maybe it is. Anyway, if I end up with there, then the D minor 7 is easy, or it's far easier. Sometimes it doesn't come at all, and then from there, the C riff is similar. I just drop my finger on that A minor. I only know that in a minute. It isn't silly. Goes to the same thing. It isn't silly. Love isn't silly at all. Now you notice I leave the pinky as the anchor there. I'm on the D minor 7. Pinky stays as the anchor. G suspended fourth. Drops two fingers next to it. Not exactly next to it, but close to it. Oh. Then my ring finger becomes the anchor. It stays in place while I move the others around. And that's it. That's every part of the song. That is to say, every part of playing the song. So now I'm going to do a slow motion close-up through the bridge. It's going to be remarkably slow in a couple places, but I'll be close up on my left hand so that you can see every chord transition and in slow motion. So be patient with me. 5, 6, 7, and... come in a minute. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. I only know that when I'm in it, it isn't silly. Love isn't silly. Love isn't silly at all. That's it. See you Wednesday. Bye.